And there is an awful lot of offensive thrust in the game for ADP. Joe Callahan batting next is batting .333, of course, which means he gets a hit 1 out every 3 times up. Callahan hit a sharp liner to the shortstop, Bobby Bent, in the 2nd inning. Takes a pitch for a strike, ground ball to shortstop, Bent over to first for the out. 6-3 if you're scoring it at home. And if you are, please call us and tell us why. Now batting for ADP is Mike Chavs. Chavs is the catcher who takes a strike on the pitch. Chavs singled in the 2nd inning and advanced to 2nd. That's a ground ball to shortstop. Ben is up and over once again to Rosakis for the out at first. So after telling us all how we can expect a lot of fly balls as pitchers trying to get the ball up last inning as I did, we've now seen 2 ground balls to the shortstops. Nice plays by Bobby Bent. Seems to be playing a little short and towards the hole.
And now here's Roger Hypolite again.
Roger singled in the 2nd inning. And that's a strike 2 count.
That was a beautiful pitch there by McQueston.
McQueston's pitched a superb game today. Ground ball to short once again. And Bobby Bent is the star of the inning. Another 6-3 as he flips over for the out.
And ADP goes down 1-2-3, and as we head into the 5th inning here from Hurd Field, it's ADP 5 and Shaddix 3. And of course, we have lots of great softball action coming up here on Arlington Cable Systems. Of course, these games are being seen on Channel 9 on your Arlington Cable dial rather than Channel 3 as usual. Tomorrow night's game at 7:30 will feature Richie's Automotive Repair looking for their first win of the season against the Commandos. And of course, Channel 3, these games are not on Channel 3 due to the fact that this month on Channel 3 in Arlington is a month of programming showing the year's best in programming done during the past 10 months. And this week is Sports Week. And tomorrow night at 7:30 on Channel 3, of course, you can see Arlington High School face Medford High School at Boston Garden, the semifinals of the schoolboy hockey tournament.
A 1-1 count to Bob Bent, who lofts a fly ball into left field where Steve Phillips has a beat on it for the out. And how often it happens, Steve, that the guy who makes the plays in the defensively in 1/2 the innings gets up to lead off the next half. Bob Bent with the fly ball to left field and Steve Phillips. Tom McQueston now batting here in the 5th inning. McQueston, the pitcher, singled and scored a run in the 3rd. And that's a bloop into shallow left center field where it's caught by Rich McGarry for the 2nd out of the inning.
Looked like it may be trouble for a moment, but the McGarry brothers, both of them out there, can cover a lot of territory. And Rick McGarry made the grab fairly easily.
And obviously they've got teamwork down to a niche. I'm sure they've worked through this for many years. That's a fly ball for a foul out down the left field line by Rich Den. Steve Phillips getting a lot of action in this inning. So as we finish up the Shattuck half of the 5th inning, they remain scoreless for that inning.
And the game still at 5-3 as we've now had an inning and a half where nobody has gotten a hit or reached base. So the game moving along fairly rapidly now as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning.
Indeed, a briskly played ball game so far. Off the 5th will be Kenny Wilson, who doubled and went to 3rd in the 1st inning. And in the 2nd inning, hit a sharp liner to Bob Rosakis at 3rd base.
So there you see Tom McQueston.
McQueston pitching a very effective game indeed. First pitch is fouled down the third baseline, and no one could get to it for Shattuck. Strike one, the count to Kenny Wilson, the right fielder. A timeout here in the action. Now we're back ready to resume play with the count 0-1 to Ken Wilson. Here's the pitch. And that's strike two to Kenny Wilson. Once again, McQuestion doing such an effective job of pitching. That ball is hit into left center field for a base hit, where Rob Donaldson will pick it up and get it back into the infield in a hurry, because remember how quick Ken Wilson can hustle.
He took a big turn, but he knew that Donaldson was going to get that ball in quickly and made the wise move and turned and went back to first base.
And Rich McCurry takes a strike for the first pitch. McCurry has a single in the third inning, a ball hit out of play, so that'll be strike two. Singled in the third, and in the first inning, grounded 6-3, the shortstop and the first baseman. Curry, 0-2 count, runner on first base, bottom of the fifth. Lines it to left field. Sean Sullivan has a beat on it and has it for the out. The runner at first tags, and Wilson goes to second base under heads-up play.
There was no way that Sean Sullivan was going to get him. The throw was right there. Kenny Wilson hustled into second, and he had the play beaten easily.
He's a very fast runner. And of course, that ball was hit very deep into left field. Steve Phillips takes a strike. 0 for 2 so far in this game. Chance to bring a runner home at second base. Lines a shot into right center field. Kenny Wilson had to hold up, but he's going to try to score, and he's safe at the play at home. Heads up play once again by Kenny Wilson as he makes something happen. Steve Phillips singles. Steve Phillips singles. Ken Wilson went to third and then came home as the ball was thrown back into the infield. Very heads-up play, Steve Richards.
Certainly was. He waited there to make sure that the ball would not be caught, and a good throw would have had him at the plate.
The first pitch lines it deep into left center field, where Rob Donaldson will take it. The runner, Steve Phillips, advances to third. Steve McCreary flies to left center field.
So 2 down now.
2 down in the fifth, 1 run in to Denny Davis. Lines it into left center field. And the play made, a very nice catch by Chuck Donnelly.
Fine play by Donnelly there to steal another run away from ADP. But they did come up with another run in that inning on 2 hits. They leave 1 on base, and as we go into the 6th inning, it's ADP 6, Shattuck's 3.
6-3, ADP with the lead. Obviously a very important and crucial time of the game for them. And to take you the rest of the way by play-by-play is Steve Richards.
Thank you, Bob. And Bob Williams came out of the game in that inning there, the last half of the 5th, and we do not yet know who his replacement is. We will try to get that for you in a moment.
The unknown catcher.
I heard that. Go, Gordy. Go, good. You want it next time, Gordy? All right. Come on, Gordy. Here we go.
And an illegal pitch thrown there by Joe Callahan. He swung at it, which he is entitled to do so. And then making the catch down in left field is Steve Phillips for ADP, so there's 1 out. So Rob Donaldson now comes to the plate. Donaldson fouls it out of play on the first base side. No balls and 2 strikes. Shattuck's trying to get something going here in the top of the 6th. 2 balls and a strike now. As I said, there were 2 strikes before. I was incorrect. There's a ground ball picked up there by Healy over to first for the out. And the Shattuck's bench is irate. They felt that Denny Davis came off the bag.
Very close play indeed. Steve, something very interesting for me. The catcher now for Shattuck is Keith Guernsey. Keith and I worked several years ago together in the Corporal Wars in a computer company in the South Shore.
It's a small world, isn't it, Bob?
By golly, you sure are right.
So with 2 out, Mike Bevan is the hitter.
Keith urged me to point out from their vantage point that that runner who scored in the last inning, it was no error. He would have scored anyway.
And he pops it up high into shallow center field, and the ball is caught, and what a play! I think it was Steve McGarry that finally came up with it, but not before it touched the hands of John Healy, Rick McGarry, and the inning is over. I'm not sure which McGarry it was that made the catch, but it was one of the 2, and one of the most incredible fielding plays you'll ever want to see.
If you're scoring that at home, call it a 9-4 to 3 to 10 to whatever. I've never seen quite a play like that before. Obviously, heads-up play out there by ADP. And who would have anticipated something like that happening here, Steve?
I certainly have never seen anything like that before.
That'll surely make a highlight film, and who knows, maybe Sports Spotlight this week.
So 1-2-3, Shattuck's goes down again. As we go into the last of the 6th inning here, ADP has a 6-3 lead. In this inning, they will be sending up Dave Valenti, John Healy, Joe Callahan, and Mike Chavs.